Hello, welcome to another Sons of Screens. I am Faye, this is Colonel, and tonight we are going to talk some sports movies. Yes, movies involving the wonderful worldwide of sports. Something we both love. And it's two things that I love together, sports and movies. They
It's a
scissor each
mashup.
other like lovely lesbians, yeah. Before we jump into this episode, though, because we always tightrope walk on does it count, as we already did with our franchise conversations, stuff like that. There's a lot of sports movies out there, or movies that involve sports that maybe you wouldn't consider sports movies. I think a good example, just kind of, I'm trying to pick up a wavelength where you're at here. Like, would Jerry Maguire count as a sports movie?
Yeah, I mean
He's a
they don't
sports
really do a lot of
agent,
sports, but yeah, it's in the sports world.
right? And a big part of the movie is him getting Cuba Gooding's contract and stuff like that. Show me the money.
Mhm.
Dude almost died on the
Well,
field. Gotta pay him.
I mean that kind of I would kind of put that in the same realm as like draft day. So there's not really any football, but it's around
That involves
there.
sports.
Yeah.
Sports is heavily involved. Like there's like okay, movies that wouldn't count would be like, there's a movie and then they randomly stop off at a baseball game or something in the movie. That doesn't
Right.
count. That's just a random date. Like The Breakup. That movie starts out with them at a baseball game, but the movie has nothing to do with sports. A lot of
Mhm.
sports sprinkled through it, but yeah. I just watched that movie the other day. It's a good movie. Jennifer Aniston, it's fun. I recommend that one. But yeah, okay. So I think my top five is going to be okay. Then I think you're going to approve of all five of my movies.
I
Maybe.
probably will. I mean, there's not a whole lot of sports movies that I don't like.
Right. Well, not that, but I think you also they're also allowed to be in the sports movie category.
Right.
That's my point.
Yep.
So,
Yep. It is indeed.
all right. Before we started talking some of our random favorite sports movies and do our top five sports movies, we got our little taste test that we do every fucking episode now. But yes, beer time, or in my case, barley wine time. Didn't know what that was until after I purchased this, and I had to Google what the fuck is barley wine.
I was going to ask you what barley wine was because I don't think I know either.
Right. Well, according to Google, it's like an ale, but like with some wine in it,
Hmm.
or like it's made like you make wine or something. I don't know. Because then right here on the side of the can it says a blend of aged barley wines from 2016, 17, 18, and 19. So it's not very old stuff.
So it sounds like wine that they couldn't sell, so they just mixed it all
So they
together
made a
and mixed it with
fucking
some beer.
barley wine. Can't wait to fucking get sick again. But my shit's kind of fun though. It's a fun little can. It says struggle bussing. I'm thinking the word bussing is a play off of that trendy word that kids use because then there's a lot of words in the background of this that's all the trendy shit. Whoa, I just felt really old because I'm like, I can't read this shit. Oh, fuck.
You might need some bifocals.
It's okay, there we go. I'm focusing in now. No cap. Bussing, yeah. Slay. I don't know. I'm just gonna use trendy words from my day. This shit's whack. Or this shit's the bomb.com. I don't know. But what you got before I get to fucking dive into this 10.1% alcohol fused motherfucker?
Well, I have one that is higher percent alcohol than yours by 2%.
I know. I thought I was gonna win that one.
It is called the Annexation of Puerto Rico. It's a double India Pale Ale.
Yeah.
Made in Texas by Texans. The reason I picked this one is because since we're doing the sports episode, we've got all these sport things on here. So I know
I
you
like the
shouldn't.
blue and red.
You should not. It's actually orange. It's kind of hard to see on here, but yeah, I know. I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, so I'm a little worried about this beer, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, let's dive in here. Let's judge with a corner of our faces.
Hoppy. It's hoppy.
Hop, hop, hop! Happy Easter.
Ooh. It just tastes like an IPA to me.
Okay, right off the bat, it's not as bad as I thought. I thought it was going to be like, but it's going to take me a few more swiggy swigs to really kind of at least know if I can finish it or not.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm going to finish it because that's what I do.
Does it taste like the play Interaction of Puerto Rico?
I don't even know what that right because I'm trying. But...
yeah, I didn't say the name right because I'm struggle bussing here with my.
I mean, in general, I'm not a huge fan of IPAs or hoppy beers, so I'm gonna probably struggle through this one. Might be slamming it a little bit.
God, how the hell you
annexation of Puerto Rico?
Annexation of Puerto Rico. There we go. I was trying to say it because it's a little segue into a movie that's famous from. Can you name the movie? Annexation of Puerto Rico. I figure that's why you got it.
I'm sure that
it's from our childhood.
I'm sure I know it. I'm just not. It's not coming to my head.
It's from Little Giants.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that little smart nerdy kid that had the fucking little smart kid. He designed the annexation of Puerto Rico play. That helped him beat the Cowboys.
So that's probably why there's football on this.
Yeah, well, that's why I thought you picked it up. I was like, I know that play. Speaking of eating ass, this is kind of what this tastes like. It's back into our sports movie talk. How do you kind of want to just start this? Do you want to do like by sport, or do you just have one that you want to talk? Some of your honorable mentions before we get into our top five?
So before we get into the top five, I can throw out my honorable mentions, and then we can kind of discuss them a little bit. But some of them
I'm sure that'll spin off into another movie that'll make me think of one and stuff like that. Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't come up with any honorable mentions. Because if I did, my top five would have changed over and over. So I just did my top five and left it at that.
Well, so one of the honorable mentions I have is Little Giants.
Little Giants, but yet you forgot about the annexation of Puerto Rico.
I know. It's been a while since I've seen it, so like it just wasn't right there in the brain.
I don't think that's a movie that would be very popular these days because of the whole girls can't play football and stuff like that. Like she was a badass.
Well, and it's kind of like so another one of my honorable mentions was the Mighty Ducks. When they remade that as a TV series, the Mighty Ducks were the bad guys.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch that at all.
Yeah, so the Mighty Ducks were the team that were like the Hawks. They were like the people that they had a group go and make their own hockey team.
What is the decision behind that?
What's the what?
The decision behind making it that way.
I don't know. I quit watching it because I was like, this ain't the Ducks.
Like, that's not even quote unquote woke. Like, that's just like fucking taking our childhood and scrambling it and be like, nope, the team you loved, now you have to hate, motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's why I didn't.
Little do they know I am a Sith Lord and I enjoy some villains too. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Did they at least put him in black? The Mighty Ducks.
No, it was the green Ducks jerseys.
So who are we cheering for in that show?
Well, so there was some people that didn't make the team.
Oh, and they created their own team.
They went and made their own team, and then I'm sure that at the end of the show that they would come back and beat the Ducks probably.
Big old circle jerk, yeah. What the fuck? Okay. I don't like it. God damn you, Disney.
I was highly frustrated by that.
Don't ruin an amazing trilogy like the fucking Mighty Ducks.
Right.
But anyways, chicks in football, though. Icebox was a badass in fucking Little Giants.
She was.
She was hardcore. And she tried to be a cheerleader. Like, no, your balls are too big to be a cheerleader. And it's funny. I remember seeing the interviews with Devin Sawa about that movie because he's Canadian, so he didn't really know much about American football. So they literally had to teach him on the spot, like how to even throw that football and shit like that. And a lot of times they actually had a stunt double as a kid throwing the ball. It wasn't.
That wasn't him. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's when you have to have a stunt double to throw a fucking football.
Wasn't Devin Sawa the one
Canadians.
that had the long hair in that show?
Yeah, he was a pretty boy blonde.
Right. So it wouldn't be hard to get a stunt double in there. You just make sure that they don't see the face and just have the long hair.
Yeah. So yeah, when you watch the movie, next time you see Devin Sawa throwing that pass, you're not gonna see his face, probably.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Damn Canadians.
Always love the little tidbits.
Right.
So another one of my honorable mentions was Rookie of the Year. You'll see a lot of the honorable mentions for some of my childhood movies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rookie of the Year. That's the fast pitch one, right?
Yeah, it's where he I don't remember if he broke his arm but he injured his arm, and then whatever
Something to do with
it was,
the tendons and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So something made it to where he could throw like a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
And that's where the term "funky butt lovin'" came from. When he hits the doctor, and then funky butt lovin'. Did you just say funky butt lovin'? They don't make kid movies like they used to.
Right. Then you got where he's pitching to the Babe Ruth of whatever time it was, or like whatever the guy's name was, and he like his arm gets healed, so he can't really throw it anymore. So he throws an underhand pitch.
Because his mom was a softball pitcher.
Yep.
When the villainous team, and that one the White Sox. So it was the Cubs versus White Sox.
No, it was the Yankees.
Was it the Yankees? Okay. That is the theme of these sports movies. The villain in football movies is always Cowboys. It might be the White Sox. No, because the White Sox were the villains in Major League, weren't they?
Well, the White Sox were in the Indians division, so that's why they were the bad guys in Major League.
Okay. See, I keep thinking of that fucking weird brute dude in Major League.
Well, so Major League is not one that I really thought of, but it would be an honorable mention. It was a good movie.
You didn't even think of Major League?
I didn't. I mean, I enjoy watching it. The Wild Thing.
Oh, dude, that's like the best entrance ever.
Oh, I get it. It's about a Spanish guy. Jose, can you see?
I love it in Major League 2 when he comes out to Wild Thing. Because Randy Quaid's in there. Oh, they want the choke thing or whatever the fuck. And then he tells him, blow it out of his ass, largemouth. Then we get Wild Thing. I've rewound that scene so many times just because I love that. But then there was a wrestler in AEW that came out to that same exact theme, like that same band that did that cover of Wild Thing, stuff like that. So I was like, hell yeah. And then he stopped doing that. I'm like, fuck you. I don't want to cheer for you no more. Bullshit.
Well, there are no. I don't think I have any wrestling movies on my list.
That was going to be another. Does it count?
Absolutely. Wrestling is a sport. I mean, the
sports entertainment.
Like WWE is as real as a movie. So.
Well, I mean, when you count sports with like wrestlers, professional wrestlers are a lot more athletic than a lot of actual sports competitors out there.
Right.
Like they're a hell of a lot more athletic than golfers.
Just because it's scripted doesn't mean that they're not still performing some of these insane moves.
Yeah. Just think of the cardio alone. Jesus Christ.
So
yeah, another if that counted.
Absolutely it does.
Yes,
so I've got quite a few honorable mentions here, so I don't.
Yeah, no, and I wanted to play off of those.
Okay. Just
keep them going, baby.
So the next one I had written down was Moneyball.
I saw that once. I don't. That's the Brad Pitt one, right?
Yes. So it was on my honorable mention because I haven't seen it a ton, but I really liked the movie. So I mean, it's kind of like based on a true story. It's I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the general manager for the
A's.
Right? A's, and that it just kind of goes through how they were trying to use before analytics was a thing. They kind of used analytics to make decisions, and so I did just finish my beer, so we are going to officially give my rating for it.
You were in a hurry to get rid of that one.
I told you. I'm not a big fan of hops, so I was probably going to pound through it pretty quick. I give it a 1.5.
1.5.
if anybody likes hops, you're probably gonna like this beer. Like if you like IPAs, you're probably gonna like it.
So if you're a hipster that rides a 10-speed bicycle or whatever, you're gonna like it. I might like it. I have a little hipster blood.
Well, and like I said, I'm not much of an IPA guy. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are, and people that that like IPAs are probably going to like that.
See, that's a poor choice of marketing there, because hipsters don't like sports. And that has a sports theme to it. I need to go work for a brewery in the marketing team. And a taste tester. I'll be a taste tester too. I'm down.
Yep. Yep. So the next movie that I've got on my honorable mentions list is Hoosiers.
I was waiting for a basketball movie to pop up here. I love me some basketball movies. Yeah.
So
Hoosiers. God, I haven't seen that one in a while though. That's Nick Nolte, right? Or
Gene Hackman? I think Gene Hackman.
Oh, okay, Nick Nolte was Blue Chips. Nick Nolte was Blue Chips was Shaq. See, God damn it. See, I've watched so many sports movies that they blend together. No, you're right. You're right. It's okay. Gene Hackman is Hoosiers, Indiana Hoosiers. Yeah. I was thinking Blue Chips with
my team is on the court.
Yeah. That was a good movie.
It was.
I don't watch it as much as you'd think I would have.
Well, so another basketball movie that I did like, but I did not make my honorable mentions, but I used to watch it all the time because it was a movie that my grandma had. So anytime I'd go out to my grandma's, we would end up watching it, and that's Pistol Pete, about Pete Maravich. It's a pretty good movie.
Wow, I think you just named a sports movie I haven't seen.
Oh, mark it down.
Don't have a writing utensil. But Pistol Pete, I'll remember that because I say that sometimes to people because it's a very white thing to call somebody, "Hey, Pistol Pete."
No, it was a really good movie. Like, so it's about
Pistol Pete. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so it's about Pete Maravich when he's in just coming into high school, and he's obviously a phenomenal basketball player, and so it's about him coming into as a freshman in high school he got put on the varsity team, obviously, and then in that day and age, there was what we'll call hazing. Yes, he was getting picked on a lot, and he had a lot of trouble. It's a pretty good movie.
Right on. Now, would you say that's more of it's a good movie to you because it's nostalgia, or do you think it's still a good movie today?
I haven't seen it in a very long time. I remember that I liked it and loved it when I was a kid, but I could go pull it up tomorrow and watch it and be like, why did I like this?
So I make the mistake of telling people to watch movies because I remember loving them as a kid, but then they didn't age well,
Yep.
Speaking of basketball movies, that just popped in my head because this is the movie that I should have watched when I was a kid, but I definitely did, and I enjoyed the hell out of it because it teaches me a lot of life lessons. It's called Basketball Diaries. Did you ever see that? Starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Wahlberg.
I did not. I have not had the pleasure of watching that one. Oh, really?
Basketball. Yeah. I have the DVD because that's all because it's a Weinstein movie, so they weren't able to release it to Blu-ray and stuff because it's all Weinstein shit.
Yeah.
But I have the DVD. Leonardo DiCaprio's performance, that's another one. I think his best performance ever is What's He Good But Great, but then this one as a basketball, a high school basketball player turned druggie, and he fucking kills.
So after Hoosiers, I have Tin Cup on there as an honorable mention.
I love golf movies, in general. I haven't
For the Love of the Game was a pretty good one too. With
For Love of the Game, Legend of Bagger Vance was good with Will Smith. They just came out with a new one 2 years ago or last year. For the Love of the Game,
They came out with another one.
Yeah, there was a new golf movie. I think they recently put it on Netflix.
Okay. Because the For the Love of the Game that I was talking about is the one with Shia LaBeouf back in
that's not
early 2000s, I think.
Or it's The Long Game or something like that. think it's the long game. I don't know, but it's basically it's an old, back in the old days in golf, it was strictly white males only that could play
Right.
golf.
Well,
And
even to
there's
this
a
day, I
group
think
of Latinos or Mexicans or whatever that were really good golfers, but they weren't accepted because they were Latino. And it's got Dennis Quaid in it, who's the white guy that's bringing these Latinos into it. It's based off a true story, and it's pretty good. I think
Well,
it's
and even
based in the 40s or 50s.
even to this day, like I think even currently right now, I want to say it's Augusta, like where they play the Masters. Like there are no women allowed in the
Isn't that ridiculous? Because the LPGA is fucking crushing it right now.
Mhm.
They have some fucking mega stars right now.
They have some great players.
That fucking Nelly Corda, she's fucking awesome. That Rose, whatever.
Rose
Sounds like I'm a big supporter because I'm fucking up the names, but I love watching them play though. They're sharks.
I don't remember enough of their names, but like a lot of times I'll sit there and when it's not football season,
but to still not be allowed to play at the match.
I just sit there and watch golf.
Right. Not even necessarily playing the matches, but playing Augusta. Like that's ridiculous. But yeah, back to golf movies though. It's what did you say? Oh, Tin Cup.
Tin Cup. Yeah. So that was just a fun movie.
That's Kevin Costner, right?
Yep.
He's a sports movie guy.
He really is.
Tin Cup, Draft Day, Field of Dreams.
He did another one.
Football, golf, and baseball. I'm sure
he did another one too, but I can't remember now off the top. But yes, he does a lot of sports movies, and a lot of times the ones that he's in are really good.
That kind of tells you that he's a sports fan. He'll get a script across his desk, and I'm like, "Ooh, what sport are we doing today?"
Right. Well, and Draft Day. I mean, it's not in my honorable mentions, but it was. I enjoyed it.
What's crazy? Yeah, that's actually a pretty good movie, which you wouldn't think it would be because it's about drafting.
Right.
It's
NFL. About. Well, and what? So
and you're drafting for the Cleveland Browns of all teams,
right? Well, but if you talk to anybody in any kind of position that actually is part of the draft, that movie was completely false. Like it was like there was nothing accurate about
the way he orchestrated and stuff like that. Yeah, right. I mean, like even just as a casual like football fan and stuff like that, watching that, you're like, that's a little far fetched,
right?
But it's also a movie, and it was entertaining.
The other funny part about that I thought is, I think it was the year the movie came out or the following year that the Browns ended up with 2 first-round draft picks in the top 10.
I know, and they fucked those off, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
good old Browns.
If you want your career to be 1.5 to 2 years long, go to the Browns.
Of all 32 NFL teams, the Browns are the clowns of the NFL. They always find a way to fuck it up, spend too much money on stupid shit, and they're constantly digging themselves a hole. They'll have a good team and then say, "Fuck that! I don't want that no more."
Right?
Let's go draft this guy that,
or they'll go pay. They'll go pay Deshaun Watson $500 million or something, and
saying, the guy that loves happy endings. And they gave him way too much guaranteed money. Didn't even let him try to prove himself after he was suspended for like 2 seasons. Like, wow. So yeah, viewers, as you can tell, me and Colonel here both we love sports.
Absolutely,
we love movies. That's why this is a fun topic on sports movies. Now, okay, this is gonna be like kind of a tough question because it. But of all like the sports movies that you like, can you tell me your favorite category movie? Like, let me think here. Do you like more football movies? Do you like more basketball movies? Do you like more soccer movies? Baseball movies?
I was thinking
which
about
sport
that.
Do you like more movies? Do you like it?
I mean, my heart tells me that it's football, just because I love football.
You love football, but that doesn't mean they have the best movies.
Right. So when it comes to movies, it's between football and baseball. but I think that there's more baseball movies that I like than football movies. However,
Baseball's
they're
had
all
some bangers.
I mean, they're just
Soccer's had some bangers.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the Big Green?
Oh, the Big Green. That's another honorable mention that I didn't put in here either.
That's a good one.
Oh
I
man,
can't remember the dude's name. I'm just gonna call him Jose. Right? I wrote it down because I'm like, oh, I'm sure Colonel's seen it, but don't remember it.
Bend It Like Beckham was a pretty good movie too. I watched that during my Keira Knightley infatuation phase.
Oh, damn it. See, I just thought of a fucking sports movie that probably would have been in my top 5, but it's not. I'm not changing shit. But it's a soccer movie. It's called Green Street Hooligans with Elijah Wood and Charlie Hunnam. It's like one of the best movies ever, period.
I feel like is that the one that you talked about that I hadn't seen, or is that one that I've seen?
I think it's one I've talked about that you haven't seen. I've always talked highly about it. And I think you call it a sports movie because it's about soccer hooligans.
Well, yes, it has. I think I have seen it, though. I'm pretty sure.
So good. So fucking good. I love that movie. That's the reason why I cheer for West Ham United, because of that movie.
Okay, fair enough.
West Ham till I die. Yeah, I won't sing the song. That's all you get. That's all you get. But... Oh, and I just finished my struggle busing.
All right, what do we got?
You know, at first it was pretty low, and it's still kind of low. You know, I'll give it 2.5. 2.5. I'll go right in the middle there.
All right.
At first, it was like, that's a big old 1. That's straight booty hole. But then as it started going down, I'm like, okay. It's an acquired taste, and it started tasting better.
Yep.
To where I think I'll be able to finish my other 3. Not tonight, because that's a fucking death curse. But those other 3 will be drink.
Okay.
But yeah, so
after Tin Cup, the next one on my honorable mentions list was Fever Pitch.
You know, I love me some Fever Pitch.
So while it's more of a rom-com than anything, but the entire storyline is based around whether or not he's going to give up his seat rights.
Heavily involves the Red Sox, yeah,
right. Because his family had owned those seats for generations, and he was getting ready.
Basically, it's what does he love more, this girl or the team that he's been passionately in love with since he was a kid?
And it was based around the year that they won the World Series for the first time in like 100 years.
That is a fucking crazy story. When they were filming that was leading into, and so they offered them to go film at the World Series, and when they won the World Series, they were allowed on the field, but only out so long. But the little scene where they're celebrating with the Red Sox, I mean, that's all legit and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
It's where they actually had to cut out some stuff because some players would run to them to celebrate. They're like, "Hold on, we're filming a movie," so they had to cut it. I
did not realize that they actually were filming the year that the Red Sox won.
Yeah, so like, there's a lot of Red Sox fans out there that actually contribute to breaking the curse to that movie.
Okay.
They're like, for some reason, Jimmy Fallon, Drew Barrymore helped us break the curse. And they just happen to be filming at the perfect time.
That is insane. What are the odds of that? Like, I wonder if that completely changed their movie, because like they could have went and reshot a lot of things after they won to incorporate that into. Because
from what I understand, they were completely done filming, but then they're like, oh, well, let's have this as the conclusion of the movie. You guys go into the World Series. And then the Red Sox actually won the World Series, so then they were permitted to go on the field and celebrate with the team.
That's awesome. It's an awesome story for the Lions. I honestly think they're going to lose to the Commanders this weekend. So, moving on to the next honorable mention I have written down, I've got Friday Night Lights. I believe that was Tim McGraw's movie debut. I don't remember for sure, but like he may have been in 1 or 2 before that. But that's the first.
What is up with country artists when they make their film debut are complete fucking pricks?
Right.
He's a fucking prick in that movie.
He was not a nice guy.
Just like the country artist from Sling Blade. What the fuck's his name? Dwight Yoakam or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
He was an absolute fucking prick in Sling Blade. Like, if I'm a country artist, I want to move over into the movie business.
That's like
I'd like to have a good role, not a fucking
right. It's like that's the hazing or whatever that you get to be an actor.
I guess. What's sad though is that they both did a very good job of being a prick. It makes you kind of wonder about country music a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
The friendliest people in the world are metal music people. You know the guy from Cannibal Corpse? Every town he goes to claw machines and wins as many stuffed animals as he can, and donates them to like children's hospitals and stuff.
That's cool.
Guy from Cannibal Corpse. His name is Corpse Grinder. And yeah, but that's what he does.
Well, again, that's
evil, right?
Why you don't judge a book by its cover anytime.
So Friday Night Lights, though, why like that? That is a great movie. Which is funny because it's Billy Bob Thornton and the quarterback is the little kid from Sling Blade, so that's a little reunion between those two. I thought that was kind of funny. But why is one of the most intense scenes in that whole movie is the goddamn coin flip at the fucking diner. and why that's even a way to decide to advance into the playoffs or whatever in high school. A goddamn coin flip, a 3-way coin flip.
Because it was
is that still a thing?
Well, so they have levels of tiebreakers. And if you meet every level of tiebreaker, it will come down to a coin flip.
Wow. That was a fucking 3-team coin flip there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And that's still a thing.
I think. It very, very rarely happens to go, because there's like the coin flip is like the 5th tiebreaker. Like it's very rare that you go that far down.
Hell, if I ran sports, all 3 coaches that are trying to do a tiebreaker, 1 single game of Mario Kart. Let's see if I guess it. Let's go.
Make it interesting. Make it Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's getting fucked up.
Yeah, so Friday Night Lights was a fun movie. They had the TV show. I never really got into the TV show, so I don't know if it was any good.
Yeah, I never watched it.
It had quite a few seasons, so it had to be okay, or they wouldn't have that many seasons.
Oh, that was Booby Miles, wasn't it? Booby Miles.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of that, Booby Miles, anytime that you have people that act like an idiot, that act like Booby Miles, I'm like, you're a piece of trash. Don't talk to me. Like your famous sports people, when they act like Booby Miles on the camera, I'm not gonna like them.
Right. Well, he got too cocky and he wanted to be in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then it fucking ruined his career.
What? Right. And like you had the scene where they were in the weight room, and the quarterback, I can't remember his name, the kid from Sling Blade. Mm-hmm. Like Booby was just sitting there on the phone or whatever, and he starts leaving, and the quarterback's like, "Booby, you didn't lift." Man, I ain't got to lift. This is just for show.
Yeah, whatever, cockstain.
Mm-hmm. So the next one on my honorable mentions list is The Karate Kid.
Okay. Karate is a sport.
It is. Like it was one of the movies that I liked to watch a lot as a kid. Wax on.
Damn, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Otherwise, that probably would have made my top 5. Because I love me the Karate Kid. Love the Karate Kid.
I mean, they kind of started.
I love the Hilary Swank one.
You didn't like, or you did?
I did like the Hilary Swank one.
I felt like
it still had Miyagi in it. If Miyagi's involved, I am down.
Did you ever watch the Cobra Kai series?
I got through the first 3 seasons, but I haven't continued yet.
So I watched. So when I got to there was 2 or 3 seasons out. I don't remember how many, and I got to to where there was nothing else available on Netflix, and I just haven't picked it back up. I really liked the show.
I say I did too. I just never continued watching it. I have a hard time with TV shows, as you know. I just don't. I don't keep up with them.
You and my wife.
Yeah, this is hard because I don't trust TV shows because I'm like, this is probably gonna end horribly.
So
I just can't do it.
So where I got to with Cobra Kai was the season, like where the season finale was, where like one of the kids got injured on the stairs, and Martin Cove was kind of trying to bring Cobra Kai back to the old ways.
Okay, I think that's kind of where I was. Like Cobra Kai and Miyagi Dojo united, and they're going against dude from part 3. I think, I don't know. It's been a while. I need to catch back up on that shit. Because I need to catch it back up on because there's the new Karate Kid movie that's coming out later this year, Karate Kid Legends.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's both Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan.
Nice.
And they're mentoring this kid.
Are they going to have a multiverse?
So apparently it's the same universe. Like the Jackie Chan Karate Kid was in the same universe as the Karate Kid that we know. Apparently.
So they're going to try and tie it together.
Yeah, so apparently they're tying it together and teach this new kid some ways. Right. And I saw the trailer and like the action in it in the trailer. Oh yeah, I am in. I am down. Let's go. Nice. Let's karate kick some fucking people in the face. And they even addressed the issue because you know the Karate Kid remake with Jackie Chan. Mm-hmm. People go, that wasn't karate, that was kung fu. Blah blah blah. Be more technical about it. They address it in this movie. Even in the trailer, they address it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. We're all self-aware, and we're gonna kick some ass.
I'm. That might be one of my most anticipated movies of 25 so far.
Yeah. And it's not Will Smith's kid, so that's good.
I was gonna say, have you seen a trailer? Are they gonna put Jaden back in it?
No, Jaden. He's too busy trying to decide if he's a man or a woman or whatever.
Oh,
I'm not sure. I said it, not you. I'm good. We're in the clear. But
so the next movie, the next movie that I've got on my honorable mentions list.
Wait, before you do that though, since we're talking combat sports, does Bloodsport count?
Absolutely. And I didn't even think of Bloodsport.
I know, right? So that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to do a sequel to sports movies. I'm telling you.
Well, we might have to have a subgenre of sports movies, like favorite football movies or favorite.
Yeah, we're learning that there's a long list and multiple sports and combat sports that we can do. But this is a nice loose opening here. Yeah.
All right. So my next movie on the honorable mentions is Kingpin.
Ernie McCracken, baby. God, he was such a prick in that movie. Oh my God. He might be like the all-time biggest villain in sports movies. I know that's very debatable, and there's some harsh shit that people have done in sports movies. Mm-hmm. But good God, what a piece of shit. What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And leave it to fucking... Why am I drawing a name on his fucking real-life name?
The bowler?
Yeah, Ernie McCracken.
Oh.
Bill Murray. Bill fucking Murray. God damn it. Bill Murray. Bill Murray is what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Bill Murray. Of course, he can make such a piece of shit very entertaining. You know what's my favorite part of Kingpin, though, is Bill Murray's hair. Mm-hmm. His come over gets worse and worse as he goes on. That's fucking hilarious.
Yep. That was great.
Well, I'm struggle bussing for real, no cap, risen, skibbity dibbity. So I'll kick it off. My number 5 is The Sandlot.
Okay. So
I think that's more nostalgia than anything.
I love that movie
because all you can think about is like even when I hear the word forever, I think of The Sandlot because forever,
right?
Forever. Or I can never eat a s'mores without thinking of The Sandlot.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you got that Squint's kissing Wendy Peppercorn. That was funny.
What's your number 5, sir?
So my number 5, which just barely beat out Space Jam, was Varsity Blues.
Ah, fucking 10.
10, Miss Davis. Miss Davis.
That's the only thing I ever think of when I hear Varsity Blues.
You want to see New Tweeter in Zone
that-
Dance? You know what I'm going to call it? New Tweeter in Zone Dance.
And that is the one thing that I probably quote most than most movies is when something it's a 10. It's a fucking 10.
Mm-hmm.
Or if somebody says, "What'd you think of it?" I'll go, I gave it a Miss Davis to see if they understand the reference.
I like it.
And if they don't understand the reference, then I have to go, "Oh, okay, well, sit down. We have a talk here." And I explain to them first, please. But when they do understand, I'm like, "You are my new best friend." It's a Miss Davis. it's a Miss Davis.
So, funny story, the famous whipped cream bikini was actually shaving cream because the whipped cream wouldn't stick right.
They should have stuck with whipped cream. How you doing, Allie Letter?
Right.
Tasty.
Another fun fact that I thought was noteworthy was so you know how Paul Walker was kind of laid up in the like later on in the movie.
Yeah,
he actually broke his leg while they were filming, so he was actually in a cast.
Nice.
Like
that guy just doesn't know how to fucking crash. Sorry,
I don't know. I know. Is it too soon?
That'd be weird.
Say,
you like that? Oh. My number 4. I didn't write him down. Oh, my number 4 is Happy Gilmore.
So that's one that I almost put on my honorable mentions, but I didn't. But I did love that movie a lot.
That's a movie that I for some reason watch every year. Like every year when I rewatch movies, there's a reason for me to do it. It's either an anniversary or like and stuff like that. There's no reason for me to watch Happy Gilmore every year.
Okay, I was curious what your watch was for, because like at Christmas you always have your Christmas movies that you watch. At Thanksgiving you always have some set movies that you watch. So I was wondering what holiday it fell on.
I think the last few years my excuse of watching Happy Gilmore every year is when the PGA Tour kicks off. Since I'm a golf fan now, But so Happy Gilmore though.
What are the big parts of Happy Gilmore that stand out to you? That
it's just from beginning to end. Like I think I love Adam Sandler, and I love like all of his movies. Honestly, even his bad ones, like I could still even Jack and Jill or whatever.
I never watched that one, but
which is known as his worst movie of all time, and it's bad. It's bad. But it's still Adam Sandler doing his Adam Sandler stuff, and it has Al Pacino too.
I don't think Adam Sandler really cares if it's a bad movie. Like he puts something out, and people are just gonna go crazy on it. Like, so my number 4, again going back to 1992, A League of Their Own.
Nah, there's no crying in baseball, bitch.
Yeah,
I paraphrased that a little bit, but
there's no crying in baseball.
Tom Hanks made that fucking movie.
He did. So you remember the scene?
And that's a great cast, but
absolutely,
Tom Hanks
absolutely. So the scene where he was taking the long pee. He apparently did not even know how long the pee was going to be, because there was somebody off screen that had a hose and a bucket, and that's what was making the noise.
So he had to stand there and wait for the fucking pee to end,
right?
Basically. So my number 3. Is a movie we've already discussed, so we don't talk too much about it. But Fever Pitch.
Okay. Well, that's why I was telling you earlier that if
that's why I was worried. That movie was why I was wondering if it was going to count as a sports movie or not.
Well, so it's one that we could probably put on the borderline, because
it heavily involves baseball.
Involves baseball. Well, yeah, like the entire storyline is built around whether he's going to sell his tickets
with the Red Sox. Yeah.
So like, I consider it a sports movie just because it is like it is. I would say 80% related to like in baseball, but it is still.
I mean,
like
hell, you learn a lot of the Red Sox history in that movie. Even it's fucking, and it's actually like it's one of the most relatable movies for me. Not me being a big baseball fan, but me loving sports always interferes with relationships and stuff like that.
Right.
It's been a bad deal in the past.
I got lucky. My wife is like another version, like a female version of me. So like most of the sports that I like, she likes too. The Fever Pitch is probably one of my favorite rom-coms. To be honest,
I'd say it's hands down my favorite rom-com. And it's my number 3 in sports movies.
See, I can't say it's hands down my favorite because I'd have to go do some research on what rom-coms there are because I know there's some that I like.
I know there's more sports movies that I like more than my top 5, as we've been discussing. Like, God damn it.
So your number 3 was one we've already discussed.
Mm-hmm.
My number 3 is also one we've already discussed.
Sandlot.
It is The Sandlot.
I didn't think it was gonna be number 1, so I'm like, it's probably gonna be in the middle there at number 3. It'll be a good old Sandlot. Benny Rodriguez, Benny the Jet.
Benny the Jet. Benny and the Jets.
He's the reason why I'll never regret ever buying a pair of Converse.
Oh, so the other thing that I saw when I was kind of looking up some stuff on Sandlot, every time that Wendy Peppercorn was on screen, they were playing a song by the Drifters. Okay.
My number 2. I don't know why I went up an octave on that one. There it is. Number 2 is what was my number 2? Oh, my number 2 is Any Given Sunday.
So, what I will tell you about that movie, it's one that
amazing.
I need to watch. I know it's about
football. What do you mean you need to watch?
I know it's about football, but it's never been one that has been one that made it high enough up my list to watch. But I know that I've heard from everybody that's watched it that it's amazing, and I know it's about football. So I need to watch it.
Hold on. You've never seen it?
I have not.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not going to react like hell fucking dare you. But then also, how dare you? Any Given Sunday, directed by Oliver Stone. Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx, Al fucking Pacino, Dennis Quaid, L. Cool J, Jim Brown. I just keep going on and on and on. I absolutely
agree. I need to watch it.
One of my favorite acting scenes, period, of all time between 2 actors happens in this movie. There's an acting scene between Al Pacino and Jamie Foxx. And just the way they act out the scene. And it's not compelling and stuff like that. They're just talking about why you sitting me, why you not starting me type of conversation. But the way they do it, it's so fucking good. And then you even watch like the bonus features, as we talked, like we like the bonus features.
Right.
At the end of this acting scene between Al Pacino and Jamie Foxx, and when they said cut, Al Pacino, well, like while they're Al Pacino's like, "You're a loose cannon" or something like that, and then when they yelled cut, and Al Pacino pointed at Jamie Foxx and said, "And you're a damn good actor." That has to be one of the greatest compliments an actor could ever get.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Especially from Al Pacino.
If you're doing a scene with Al Pacino and they yell cut and he says, "And you're a damn good actor." It's a very underrated movie. Like when people bring up football movies, unfortunately, people don't talk about Any Given Sunday, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because it is such a hard R. It's a hard R movie. It's pretty hardcore.
You said it's a hard R?
Yeah. It's a hard R rating. You know, it's definitely rated R for sure. But it still should just be brought up. And when you talk about greatest sports films of all time, like commonly you think of like Field of Dreams and stuff like that. You know,
well, but so for me, I am not surprised it's in your top 5. But I could not put it in my top 5 without having not watched it.
I was gonna say, yeah, don't you dare put it in there if you've never seen it.
I mean,
Any movie that comes up in my head, oh, I wonder if they're streaming. It's not fucking streaming. It's they're streaming anywhere.
yeah,
Sorry, this is fire fuel.
you're good. You're good. My number 2.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2, which let me go check real quick, is the third baseball movie on my list is going to be Field of Dreams.
You do have 3 baseball movies in your fucking top 5.
Well, so that's why when you were asking me earlier, you were like, what subgenre of sports movies are your favorite? Is it football, baseball? I was like,
yeah, basically what sport
I want to say
has
baseball. I want to say
movies that
football,
you
but
like?
a lot of the movies that I love are baseball.
You almost feel ashamed because I know you love football, but you almost feel ashamed that you like more baseball movies. Football. It's okay, man. It's okay to love baseball movies.
Like, so Field of Dreams.
The storylines in baseballs. That was your number 2, was Field of Dreams, right?
Yes, Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams is number 2. So, like, what blew my mind with that movie is like, I mean, there was a lot of fun tidbits, but that was one that I got to watch as a kid with my. It had to have been like the first movie I watched with my parents, because, like, the first adult movie. Because I cannot explain why I love that movie so much, but it is. I love it.
That's one of the Mandela effects that happens these days too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
And I got a whole bunch of tidbits written down that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But like, so what is your thoughts on Field of Dreams? Like,
Field of Dreams is something like my grandpa introduced me to and stuff like that. I thought it was really good. It kind of introduced me to legendary baseball players. That's kind of what led me into like learning the past, stuff like that.
Well, and so
and if you build it, he will come.
Right, and I assume you know this, but so the character that Ray Liotta played was Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yes.
Okay.
R.I.P. Ray.
I know.
Sorry, I love me some Ray Liotta. I was devastated when you know.
I mean, there were a few inaccuracies, like Ray Liotta hit right-handed whenever they were doing that little batting practice or whatever, but Shoeless Joe Jackson was actually left-handed. I mean, the movie
rule the world, baby.
Had a baby. Yeah.
Sorry,
we're the only ones in our right mind.
Yeah, we are.
Kevin Costner's character went to meet James Earl Jones to take him to a game, and they were finding out about Moonlight Graham. He was an actual baseball player. He didn't play much, but he actually did. Like, the storyline of Moonlight Graham was actually legit. Like, the stories that they were telling in the movie, like that the players were talking that were telling about Moonlight Graham, and like all that stuff. Those were real stories of the actual Moonlight Graham.
Okay, yeah, I kind of knew that. I think my grandpa was kind of filling me in on all that shit, but I was so young to where I was just like, "There's ghosts."
Right. So you remember the scene where they went to the baseball game, where Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones went to the baseball game. There was apparently it was a bunch, like just a bunch of extras. Do you know who were 2 of the extras at that game that you have no idea? Like, you never see them on camera, you just don't know.
I can honestly no, just because this hasn't been a movie to where I've actually looked up like behind the scenes stuff, so I'm not really sure.
So Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were extras at Fenway Park in that.
Really? Affleck and Damon is out in that bitch, huh?
Yeah. So you remember them coordinates that I gave you to make a banner?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Because
I was wondering if you forgot about this.
If you put those into those coordinates into Google Maps, that is where they shot, where they made the baseball field in the cornfield. That is where that is.
Did they film it there?
Yeah.
So that's a very accurate movie, apparently.
Well, no. Like, so the people didn't make it. Like, they made the field for the movie, but the people kept it up. So, like, but those are the coordinates that if you want to go see the field in the cornfield.
Oh, and that baseball field still exists? The Field of Dreams field still exists?
To my knowledge, yes.
That'd be fucking cool. And what state's that in?
Well, they say Iowa. I assume it's in Iowa. I mean, we can go plug those coordinates in and find out. You remember whenever Kevin Costner goes out and throws some pitches to Ray Liotta and he takes some batting practice? The one where he hits the line drive and it hits right into that bag of balls that knocks it over and like they're like freaking out or whatever. That was a fluke. Like Ray Liotta had no baseball experience at all, so like he had to learn how to do that, and then it was just sheer luck off the bat that he hit a line drive back at them.
Nice. I hate actors. They always figure out a way. So my number one should not come to any surprise if anybody watched our franchise episode. And
you had a franchise in there that was a sports
that involves sports. Yes. But the movie itself, though, is Rocky 2.
I knew
Rocky
it.
Part 2.
You were trying to say like when I called Rocky, you were like, yeah, but which one? I was like, I bet it's Rocky 2 because Rocky 1, while it was great, it was a great movie. He lost.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky 2, he finally won. So like,
well, critic-wise, Part 1 is the best, but not me personally.
I'm not a critic.
Yeah. Well, just because like everybody's favorite is Rocky 4. That's probably my least favorite in the franchise.
Is Rocky 4 the one with Mr. T, or is that with Drago?
That's with Drago.
Okay.
Everybody loves the fight with Drago. Everybody loves that one.
Everybody loves to see
my least favorite because it's a big old music video. That's what it is. There's so many fucking montages in Rocky 4.
Right.
It's fucking ridiculous. But the reason why I love Rocky 2 and why it's my number one fucking sports movie, it's not just because it's the one he wins. He gets to do his rematch, stuff like that. But just the build up to it. Like, we start out with him proposing to Adrian, and he does it in such a ridiculous way. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind marrying me a bit. You know? I was like, at a zoo in the middle of winter. So they're looking at tigers covered in snow and shit like that.
Right.
And then she gets pregnant, and then she goes into a coma. And so Mickey is like telling Rock, "Hey, we got to train." He's like, "No, my wife's in a coma. I'm not doing shit. I'm gonna lose this fight." And there's that whole dramatic thing. And the reason that the reason why this is my number one Rocky movie / favorite sports movie is Adrian comes out of her coma and she looks at Rocky and she just says, "Win." And he's like, "What?" She's like, "Win." And then all of a sudden you hear because Adrian just woke up from a coma and is telling him, "Go win, go whip his ass." And he's like, "Oh, bitch, I'm ready to go." Yeah. And then he fucking does the fucking Rocky montage and then fucking beats Apollo's ass at the end of Rocky 2. It's not just because he won, but because his wife that was in the coma woke up and her first thing was telling him, "Go win. Stop worrying about me. Stop worrying about the family. Go win." I was like,
the Italian stallion rides again.
Yes. In a non-pornographic way.
So that brings me to my number one. And my number one is another football movie by the name of, and it's actually also the first movie in my top 5 that has been made in the 2000s.
2000s football movie.
Well, let's be honest, it was made in 2000, so like it barely made the 2000s.
But it's past that millennium.
Right. So it is my number one movie, my number one sports movie, is Remember the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm surprised I didn't bark that out earlier while you're doing your honorable mentions. That's a good one.
so
But I know why, because I hate Denzel. I think Denzel go fuck himself.
well, it didn't have anything to do with Denzel. Like, just the whole premise of the movie, like it was based on the 1971 football season of the T.C. Williams High School.
It's a very gripping fucking tale,
Like,
with both the
so
team and the racial shit.
right. So while it was based on a like it's whenever you see a movie pop up that says based on true events, okay, based on true events. Like, I think a lot of the movie had a lot of things that really happened, but like bringing in the black coach at that time, and I'm sorry, not in the 2000s, like in the time frame, like time setting,
in the time period of the movie. Yeah, I got you. I think
it was right.
A few viewers are not that.
It was right in the middle of the whenever they were trying to integrate schools and things like that, and like, let's be honest, it took way too long for that to happen anyway. But like you got the kids that are growing up with their white parents, and you got the kids that are growing up with their black parents, and they're like, the kids are feuding and the parents are feuding. Like, being able to overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable, I think, is the main takeaway from that movie. Because that whole situation sucks, but them to be able to overcome
it was a thing of its time, though. It's just
right. But like, them being able to come together and become a brotherhood, like.
Well, I just love the whole thing with the main white dude that was originally fucking racist, and all of a sudden becomes boys with that guy.
Right. So the team captain, who's the white guy, and the other guy who was the team captain on the other team when they
fucking motherfucker. Yeah.
Right. Like, my favorite quote from that movie is "Attitude reflects leadership, Captain."
Nice.
So, one of the funny tidbits that I saw is like, so the coach, played by Denzel Washington, remember whenever he got the brick thrown through his window? That actually happened to the coach of that team, but it wasn't a brick. It was a toilet.
Okay. That's a fun tidbit. So, that was your number one, was Remember the Titans. Good stuff. Good stuff. That was fun, and I think a sports movie talk can obviously continue on to another fucking episode, a sequel.
I think it can. I think we can have a sequel sports episode, but I think we should probably narrow it down to a specific sport.
Yeah, because I have a list of hockey movies that we haven't talked about, and stuff like that. So. Absolutely. Like we obviously didn't even talk enough about Mighty Ducks and stuff like that.
Right.
Because for the viewers out there, we alternate picks. Like, he gets to pick our theme a week, and I pick a theme a week, and we just go back and forth. So the next week, the episode will drop right around the time the Royal Rumble happens. So I'm not going to have you do a top 5 wrestling movies. That's why I was kind of not talking wrestling a whole lot with the wrestling movie discussion. I'm not going to do top 5 because there's really not even fucking 5 wrestling movies out there. Well, I myself can think of 9, but
Fighting with My Family, I loved that movie.
So you threw that, and that's one I didn't think of. So I can think of 10 movies that are based off of wrestling and stuff like that. So I kind of just have a homework assignment for you. I want you to. It's kind of go old school.
Okay.
Like I used to do with Outsiders, where we're gonna review Ready to Rumble, which is streaming on Prime.
Okay.
And we're going to review the Iron Claw, which is streaming on Max.
I've had curiosity about Iron Claw.
Have you not watched that yet?
I have not.
I wasn't sure if you watched that yet, so I wasn't sure if these were going to be repeat watches for you or first time.
No, I have not seen either one of them, so they will be new watches for both.
You haven't even seen Ready to Rumble. As much as I fucking lick its nuts, you haven't seen it. Okay,
that is correct.
So this will be fun. But yeah, that's next week's episode.
So I do want to I want to thank everybody that's listened. I think we can't get anywhere without y'all. So if you got any, so I appreciate everybody listening, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And as long as neither one of us are sick, we'll be back next week.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Happy whatever. Go Texans. Oh wait, this has already been done by then. Yeah, playoff season. Go Rumble time. Happy New Year! I fucking hell. Yeah. I just need to end the recording. This is
happy for all y'all.
Out of hand. I'm struggling with the struggle bus here. Struggle bussing.
You're struggle bussing.
Struggle bussing.
Yeah!